There are many lessons that can be learned from Slay the Spire. How sometimes the harder path is the necessary path. Overcoming greater challenges will provide the rewards needed to reach your goal. Or how sometimes subtracting unnecessary attributes from your deck, or your life, is more beneficial than adding in something new. But the lesson that stuck with me the most was the importance of changing the angle from which you approach your goal. Perhaps even changing the person who approaches it. Slay the Spire is a card game where you battle enemies using a deck of attacks, defenses, and skills. Your goal is to reach the heart of the spire and slay what is within. The deeper you venture into the spire, the more perilous your journey becomes, and the more aware you are of how equipped or unequipped you may be. If your health reaches 0, your run is over. You must start again. Build a new deck from scratch. Face different enemies and obstacles. Hope that your skills and your luck are better next time. One way that Slay the Spire keeps this gameplay fresh is by the implementation of classes. Like many games, you start with a few options. A warrior, who you can build decks around focused on immense strength or an impenetrable defense. The silent, who excels in stacking poison or winning by 1,000 cuts. The defect, who uses different energy sources to inflict status effects. Each run not only allows you to continue perfecting the class you like, but also provides different characters with different strengths if you find yourself at a roadblock. It got me thinking. In our own lives, we may not have a spire to slay, but we have challenges and purposes just the same. So what if we could switch between a number of classes? What if you could be a warrior one moment and a magician the next? Become a lover when with family, and a king when looking down the barrel of a tough situation? What if you could face a problem, fail, and then switch to a different version of yourself for your next run? Find the one best suited for that situation. But you can't. Can you? It's a pretty silly concept. A builder can't just decide to become a lawyer on a whim. An English teacher work as a politician on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Maybe over a long period of time with a dramatic enough shift, but not in a moment. However, maybe you could change your state. State changing is something more akin to Tales of Kenzera, where you play as Zhao the whole game, a shaman with mystical abilities. You never change class or character, but Zhao can transition between two unique states, using the Mask of the Sun and the Mask of the Moon, which can be switched between freely and instantaneously. Both of the forms are still Zhao, but they put him in different states that allow him to draw from different abilities in his skill set, close range combat versus long range. I think that ability to switch between states can be something many aspire to. To feel less frustrated and anxious, more courageous and certain, to be able to master all areas of life. Be exactly who you need to be in the moment. As tacky as the execution can be at times, there's a real allure to the core premise of the film Limitless. The idea that you could take a pill that would instantly give you access to your brain's full capacity. Unlock your potential. Be able to achieve more in any area than anyone else with ease. Become affluent in a language, turn $10,000 into $2 million, charm any man or woman, write a novel and run for president. Switch life to easy mode. All before next week. And although there isn't a pill that can achieve this concept isn't complete fantasy. There are simple ways in which we can change our state. See a drastic change in the clarity and quality of our thinking, transform our bodies and double our energy, become a master of our business, relationships, finances, and health. But rather than a pill, these superpowers come from our emotions, experiences, and actions. Stress is a state, brought on by work, heights, or an inability to calm the mind. It's a state that can make you more likely to develop cancer, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. But it's also a state that can be let go of through meditation and time spent in nature. Shocking your body with extreme cold or heat will put you in a different state too, one far better equipped to fight all those aforementioned diseases. Different foods can put you in a different state. Some nourish you, others exhaust you. A lack of food can starve you or supercharge your mind and energy reserves, transform you into a more adept hunter. There are states we can control, like working our muscles so that we are stronger and fitter, and states we can't, like getting older and having to adjust to new limitations. In a docuseries that follows actor Chris Hemsworth, also ironically called Limitless, we can see the upper levels of what humans can achieve when they are driven to change their state. A car crash left Faith Dickey at peace with her potential death. In this state, she was able to become a record-breaking high roper, with an arsenal of tools ranging from self-talk, breathing, and positive thinking that completely changed how everyday stresses impacted her. For Johanna Nordblad, chronic pain in her leg put her in a place where she was willing to do anything to get out of the state. When medication failed, she tried something more radical. She became a free diver of frozen lakes, the cold water scrambling the pain signals before they could reach her brain. Retired medical scientist Professor Norman Lazarus decided to lose weight in his 50s. He found his son's old bike while cleaning the garage one day. He rode around the block, and exhausted, he had to go inside for a lie down. Now he's in his 70s, and he rides up to 1,400 kilometers at a time. Studies showed that he had the immune system of someone in their 20s. Over time, with gradual steps, he grew into a new person late in life, while others were slowing down and getting sick. He put himself in a state where he was literally reversing the clock. The most successful life coaches in the world, people like Tony Robbins, teach that the states we choose to live in daily are what define our lives.
If you want to change and get any new result, you want to lose weight, you want to make more money, you want to attract someone, you want to revitalize a relationship with more passion where it doesn't feel like it, you want to influence your kids, any new result requires a new action. New actions, though, can feel hard to do sometimes. But they only feel hard to do because you're not in the right state.
Whether we believe we can or can't, we're probably right. Breakthroughs are when the impossible becomes possible. You act on it, and everything changes. Now, I wasn't planning to do anything quite as drastic as what Chris Hemsworth or Bradley Cooper did in their journeys to be limitless, but for a week, I wanted to see if I could change my state. So every day, for a week, I primed my mind with a guided meditation, focused my thoughts on gratitude, love, and a vision for the future. I primed my body with some simple stretching and then pushed it. Some days a heavy weightlifting workout, other days just a walk. I fed my body healthy meats, vegetables, eggs and soups, cut out all the processed grains, sugars and oils, and I fed my mind information that inspired and nourished. I pushed myself just enough, based on an understanding of where I currently am, and for it, I felt calmer, more regulated in my emotions, more resilient, no longer noticing the persistent aches and pains in my muscles or gut, more confident in my ability to tackle problems that seemed insurmountable a week earlier. And I tested, giving my body a day to enjoy beer, burgers and chips. I noticed immediately how it affected me, made me sicker, sadder and more fragile. I switched back to my other foods and bounced back within a day. It might not be a magic pill, but the food I was eating and the exercise I was doing wasn't just changing my weight, it was changing my mind. When you change your state, whether through the food you eat, the way you move, or the way you look at life, you become who you need to be. Not just to survive, but to flourish. You can be someone who loves, listens, and lives to serve others. Someone with the ferocity and passion and perseverance to push through any challenge. Someone playful and energetic who doesn't see it all so seriously. Someone solid and powerful with a vision for the future so compelling they can inspire those around them. You can be all of it. It's just like Slay the Spire. You lose, you switch to a different character, you focus on your cards like you focus on your thoughts, getting rid of what is unhelpful and building the smallest, strongest deck of focused intention that you can. The pessimist becomes the optimist. You have the plan, you just need a little luck. An emotion, a simple piece of information, a mentor. Just like drawing the card you need, it gives you the jump start to believe you can do this. You start to believe that with persistence and consistency, there is nothing on this earth that you can't achieve. You stop dreading problems and start seeing them as the opponents that will give you the strength you need to see this journey through to the end. You take control of the game and life. You lose 20 kgs, beat the Hexaghost, and leave that toxic relationship. The world starts rewarding you in public for what you worked on in private. Your relationships become solid, your life balanced, your skills fine-tuned. You change your state, and eventually change your class. Someone capable of getting you where you want to go. And then you win. And you can't believe it, and all those losses stack to turn this one win into a euphoric victory, and that's life. That's what I learned playing Slay the Spire. Oh, and it's a pretty fun card game too.